I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Byron from the Byron Podcast Show, coming back with another banger. Before I even get started, I want to simply say salute and shout out to all of my new subscribers. You know what I'm saying? We all family over here. You know what I'm saying? Salute to all of you guys. Thank you for joining me. Shout out to all of my old subscribers from being there with me from the beginning. Gordon, salute. C-Mac, salute. J Nuts, salute. Kimberlin, salute. Salute to all of you guys. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get right to it. What this topic right here is about Angela Stanton King and her transsexual son. Now, I'm gonna keep it 100 with everybody. I don't care if you gay, I don't care if you lesbian, I don't care if you transsexual. That's your business. Live your life, live your truth. But what I have an issue with is how you got some people sitting up here trying to push their beliefs onto you. That's not cool. Let's go ahead and keep it 100. That's not cool. We got to stop that. We do have freedom of religion. We do have freedom of speech. Live your truth, but let us live our truth. You know what I'm saying? A straight person should not be forced to believe that a man is a woman and vice versa. That should not be happening. You feel me? A man in his 30s should not be able to go inside of a female's bathroom because he feels like he's a woman that day. You feel me? That's like a man who's 30 years old sitting up here saying, well, I'm attracted to 13-year-old girls. It's not happening. It's not happening. Today, I feel like a unicorn. So I guess I can jump off my house and fly. Come on now, we got to get real. We got to get out of our feelings about stuff. Because I feel this way doesn't make it right. I feel. We gotta get better at that, you guys. We gotta get better at that. Real talk. But anyway, I gotta sit up here and speak on this situation. Angela Stanton King been out on the front line for years with this situation, even been on the Dr. Phil show. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Byron Podcast Show. Let's get it in.
Of course. So, you have been on the Hollywood Unlocked blog. You've been on the Hollywood Unlocked show. We just recently interviewed your daughter, JB's, who's been very vocal about, her movement and the trans movement that she's a part of. And so we wanted to welcome you here because although you've been talked a lot about, you haven't been talked to. And I just thought it was fair to open up the conversation to hear your point of view, as you are a very vocal person. And so I want to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
And so one of the things that, or at least where I first saw you were, once I became...
I'm going to go ahead and keep it 100 with you guys. You can already tell that Angela Stanton King is annoyed with this man because this man already done announced her son as her. So she's already annoyed. Let's continue.
Aware of who Angela Stanton King was. It was when you were pardoned by former President Donald Trump. And when you were released, it almost seemed as if you had taken on the life of wanting to change the country and join, I think, the Conservative Party, right?
Well, just to clarify, I got released in 2005. So I wasn't released from prison when I got the pardon from President Trump. And it was my experience after getting out of prison and rebuilding my life and getting educated on politics that I decided that I wanted to become more of a conservative versus a Democrat. And I'd always been involved in the nonprofit sector and working in my community. So I thought that Congress would basically be the same thing.
So when you got released from prison and then later pardoned, at what part during that journey did you decide that in terms of politics, the Conservative Party was more aligned with where your personal interests lie?
From my own personal experience, for one, I had been born into poverty, generational welfare recipient. And when I got released from prison, because I was a convicted felon, I couldn't get welfare benefits. And because I couldn't get, food stamps and Section 8 and be able to depend on that assistance on the first of every month, it really kind of like kicked me out of the nest and made me discover my greatness. And I realized that I could not only become a business owner, but I could become financially free by starting my own business. And I realized that a lot of the Democrat policies, to me, that constantly push welfare, it keeps people like me and people from the community that I come from stuck because we get content and we get comfortable with receiving a certain amount of money every month from the government that we know.
Notice what this queen has just set up here and said. If she still collected welfare checks, if she still received handouts, she would not have been able to discover her greatness. Do y'all know how many LeBron James is out there? How many Michael Jordans is out there? Do you know how many young African people is out there who have not been able to discover their greatness because they're relying on welfare checks? And let me go ahead and tell you a little bit more of the games that the Democrats play. The Democrats, they sit up here and tell you, in order for you to get assistance from us, then you have to remove the man out the household. Who is that hurting the most? It's hurting the Black community the most. We are affected by this situation the most. When you're sitting up here growing up with no leadership role in your household and you're a Black woman raising a young Black boy, guess what? You're raising that child into a messed up environment to the point where he's gonna go out here looking for love from gangbangers and other little robbers and thieves from Pookie and Ray Ray because he ain't getting that love from his father, because his father's not there, because the Democrats told you you have to remove the head of the household. And a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women have become content living this way. That's why you hear women say, I don't need no man, but yet they want to be referred to as a queen. They want to be referred to as a queen. Last I checked, you cannot be a queen unless you have a king.
It was guaranteed.
So when you look at the past 4 years that we had under the Trump administration, I know that he, pardoned you. And so I don't know your relationship with him or what your thoughts on him were. When you look at the practices that he had with the kids in cages at the border.
This situation is not even about politics. This situation is supposed to be about her son. Why are they talking politics? Why are they going in about Donald Trump? This has nothing to do with him. He's not even the president no more. But since you want to bring up the whole president situation, let's talk about it then. Let's go there. Let's go ahead and keep it all the way real. Now, I ain't sitting up here trying to lose anybody who subscribed to my channel. But one thing about your boy Byron, I'm a realist. That's all I know how to do. I live it, I breathe it. I have it tattooed on my body. I'm a realist. So let's go in then. You want to talk about presidents? Let's talk about Barack Obama. Let me tell you guys how Barack Obama and Michelle Obama is being used as puppets to push and promote this gay agenda. Barack Obama, the first Black president that we had, why is it that he turned the White House into a rainbow house? And he was the first and only Black president we had. You mean to tell me all these presidents that we had, you mean to tell me it had to be the first Black one that was given to us, had to turn the White House into a rainbow house? I'm not done. Then you have Michelle Obama interviewing Dwayne Wade's son, who is coming out as transgender. Come on, y'all. What is hurting the Black community? Transgenderism and all that stuff. Gayness, You know, this whole LGBTQ movement is hurting the Black community. I'm gonna tell you guys what they are doing. They are trying to destroy masculinity. There was a time when Black men were seen as masculine. They are trying to destroy our masculinity. And they're doing it right in front of our face, but they're doing it so good that we can't even see it. We can't even see what they are doing. We were just so happy to finally have a Black president, including me. I was happy to see a Black president. But the whole time, they are sitting up here using him to promote gayness. No disrespect to the LGBTQ community. No disrespect at all. Your boy got love for you, but I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it 100. Why do you think the most powerful house in America is called the White House?
Orator, or even the selection of people in his cabinet, like Betsy DeVos was over education, who probably couldn't even think herself out of a Pringles can. Do you align yourself with those policies, or is it just the overall conservative ideal for what America should look like?
So, as a criminal justice reform advocate, when you say kids in cages, you have to understand that my perception of kids in cages is totally different from what the media is hyped up. I work in juvenile detention centers. I've worked with our kids that are in cages across this nation that somehow we have forgotten about. I also know that as an American citizen, if you're arrested and you have your child with you, your child is not going to go to jail with you. You're going to be separated from your child. This is American law. I, too, was separated from my child after giving birth in chains and had her snatched right out of my arms, and Donald Trump was not the president. So when you come to a certain country and there are laws that apply to their own citizens, then you are going to be expected to be handled by those same laws. So any person in America that has ever been arrested and had their child with them, they've been separated from their family. So I understand how media hype is, and I understand the difference between what's factual and what's just being blown up in the media to control the emotions of the people.
She has a good point. Take it from a man who has a bachelor's degree in marketing and communication. The job of the media is to persuade your way of thinking. What the media right now is trying to do to us American citizens, they're trying to create a race war. That's why every time you turn around, there's always things been blown up about white cop killing Black man. But no, we're smarter than that. No, we're better than that. We're not going to let you, social media, dictate what we believe to be truth and what we view as being deception. We're not going for it. We're smarter than that. Don't let social media persuade your way of thinking. If your own wife lies to you, if your own husband lies to you, if your own child lies to you, why do you think the government won't lie to you?
See, here's the thing that I have a question about. You said our kids, as if the kids in cages, the immigrant children, cannot also be Black. There are Black children in some of those cages. In fact, a big majority of them are Haitian, which are Black people, right?
So I said our kids, I wasn't speaking about color. I'm speaking about American children. So I'm not basing it on color.
But I'm basing it on color, saying that if I see a Black child from any country in a cage, as a Black person who's pro-Black, I'm going to feel away. So I guess my question to you directly is, the day that Trump was elected as president was the day that we had the highest instances of hate crimes against people of color that entire year. He has unprecedentedly ushered in a time of hate being emboldened. How do you reconcile being about your community with a man who's literally and statistically, not media-wise, literally emboldened hate against your own people?
And again, I thought that this interview was going to be about me and my son and not about some people trying to make me defend Trump. But let me tell you about what I know about Trump and what I know about the Black Lives Matter movement. I know that the Black Lives Matter movement was built off of the backs of dead Black men that were killed up under the Obama administration. Obama and Joe Biden did nothing at all to rectify the behavior of police killing. So a lot of that rolled over on Trump. Now, what I do know from being able to work with him personally, as being someone that honestly believes Black Lives Matter, I know that this president was pro-life. That's why I stood behind him, because I understand the race.
I have to pause it right there. Notice what she said. Donald Trump was pro-life. He was pro-life. Who was affected the most by abortions? Black people. We were affected by abortion the most. We talking about Black Lives Matter, but we're taking our own seeds. Just because it's done legally doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean that it's right. What you are doing in all actuality, you're killing your army. You're killing your own army. How can we tell anyone to respect us if we're not respecting our own selves? How can we tell the police officers to respect us if we don't respect our own selves? Ladies and gentlemen, before the coronavirus even came, there were already a pandemic going on in the Black community. Lack of fathers. That's a pandemic in itself. It's like a chicken with his head cut off. If a chicken got his head cut off, guess what that chicken is doing? Is running around rapidly with no direction. But keep in mind, that chicken still wants love. That's how it is for these young Black men out here. They still want love. And guess where they get that love from? Not from their fathers, who have been already degraded, already been down-talked. No, not that Black man. They getting love from the Black gangs. Gang.
Racism behind abortion. I also know that this president permanently funded Black historical colleges so they didn't have to continue to come back and forth every year for money. I also know that this president, prior to COVID, had the lowest Black unemployment. I also know that this president was responsible for not only signing an executive order reuniting the immigrant families at the border, because the news never reported that, but he also signed the First Step Act, which I was very effective in, which reunited a lot of our families that were separated by the 94 crime bill put in place by mass incarceration. So just like you were talking about, you know, supporting this man or the kids in cages or our kids or all kids, my thing is, these are things that I was fighting for before Trump got in office. So if we really care about reuniting families, if we really care about children in cages, then the fight starts at home. It doesn't start when the media creates a frenzy about people crashing our borders.
That is so true. The fight starts at home, not when the media start crashing our borders. I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. Black Lives Matter don't start in the streets. Black Lives Matter starts in the home.
So my thing is, when we're talking about America and we're talking about Congress and we're talking about presidents, the way that I look at it is, I'm a parent. So as a parent, I have a responsibility to take care of my children and the responsibility I have in my home. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't help the children that are across the street, down the street, or around the corner, but that means that I have a responsibility to take care of my children first. And once my home is taken care of, then absolutely I will help other people. So I think that we have all had a misunderstanding when it comes to our responsibilities as a nation. Now, I'm not saying don't take care of other people, but I am saying, wait a minute, if we can fight for them, then most certainly we can fight for us. So I think that this is all about perception.
Well, I'm glad that you said all that, because I'm glad you said all that, because the reason why we did invite you here, and speaking of children, was to talk about your child that you continue to misgender. So I do want to go to that, but the reason why
I'm so glad I'm so glad you said that, because do you see? But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
We're gonna get. I didn't interrupt.
Again, let's rewind this conversation to the beginning when I sat up here and said conservatives should not be forced to believe the way the LGBTQ believe. If we have freedom of religion, shouldn't we be allowed to believe the way that we believe? Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it real. And no disrespect, like I said, to the LGBTQ. I got love for you guys. Believe me, I do, but I'm a realist. Let's keep it 100. If you put all the heterosexual people on one island, and you put all of the gay people and transgender people on the other island, guess what's going to happen? We are going to replenish. We are going to multiply. The gays and the transgenders is going to die out. Let's go to the Bible. Let's see what the word of God says. God sat up here and said to Adam and Eve, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. How can two men who is laid up with each other, how can two women that is laid up with each other multiply the earth? What the Democrats are trying to tell you is what is right is wrong, and what is wrong, right. That's what the Democrats is doing. The Democrats had 50 years to get this thing right. Guess what? It still never got right under their leadership. It still never got right. They're still missing the mark. So again, why is it that that fruitcake, orange, tangerine of a human being, I'm not gonna say man, but of a human being, why is he disrespecting this young lady's son? Because what she's gonna do at this moment is show receipts. She's gonna show that her little boy was born a boy, not a girl. Let's continue.
No, I didn't interrupt you.
Okay. I can't wait.
Be very respectful. I want to be very, I can't wait either. We're going to get there. But the reason why we ask the politics is because for some of our audience, they may not know you. I know you from social media, but I don't know you. And I think one thing that we try to do here on Hollywood Unlocked is allow people to show themselves and who they are, right? You have been very vocal in your support of Trump and certain politics, and you are very articulate in how you lay it out. But sometimes when I look at like Diamond and Silk, they black and look like us, and they sometimes sound articulate, but they full of shit. And I'm not saying you are, but I'm trying to understand for our audience where your mind is, because when we do get to talking about your child, you just talked about how we got to care for our kids back home. And the purpose of what led us here, beyond getting to know who you were, was the fact that you are in a very big fallout with your own child. So I did want to kind of put that context out there, but I hand it back over to you.
Okay, now let's address the fact that you just basically said that I'm misgendering my own child, because it's the audacity for me. Because what I have right here in my hand is called a receipt. This is a birth certificate, right? I was there. I gave birth.
Show them, Angela. Show them, girl. You got this. Show them.
See, I don't remember seeing anybody on this panel that was in the hospital room with me when I gave birth to my son. Now, I don't know if any of you have looked down in his pants to see exactly what his anatomy is, whether he has a penis or a vagina. But the last time I checked, his mama, he had a penis. So for me, I feel that it's very disrespectful, because this is what we have here. There's only one person on this earth that gave birth to Javian. That's me. I can't expect anybody else to feel the way that I do, because I'm the only one that is his mother. But what is disrespectful is for you as a man, right? Because that's just like if I see your mama and I say your mama is your daddy. That's disrespectful. That is my son. Now, if you want to address him as a woman, you can, but to feel like you have the right to force me to call my man child that I birthed, that I raised, that I sacrificed for a woman, that's disrespectful. Now, we don't have to agree, But what gives you, if you all feel like you can pressure me enough to make me believe that he's a woman, then why do you all feel like I don't have the right as his mama to pressure him enough to make him believe that he's a man? How do you all have more rights and influence than me, and I'm the mother?
That is not how that works.
No, that is how that works.
I don't have more rights. I don't have more rights over your child than you do, but your child has more rights over their life than you do.
Okay.
And I think that why you and this I hope and I don't expect us to agree. I expect us to have a dialogue where we can both get out our points of view. And if you get something out of it, great. If I get something out of it, great. But you birthed Javian for sure. But then Javian grew into identifying as JB's. And in my world, I'm a gay man. Blue is a pansexual. Damage is a heterosexual man who is raising a young boy. When you raise
I'm confused already. Break that down for me one more time. Explain to me what a pansexual is. We just all here for understanding.
So right now,
I completely understand where she's coming from. This is my first time hearing pansexual. What the hell is a pansexual? What's next? A freaking fish sexual? A freaking bear sexual? A frying pan? I mean, what's next? It won't stop. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. It's not going to stop. They're going to sit up here and make up they're going to give all these different things an identity just so it can be accepted. I don't know what no pansexual is. It's crazy.
for sure. So I'll be honest with you. I learned the pansexual last year, so okay. I'm still learning things.
That Tangerine sat up here and said he didn't even know what a pansexual was until last year. And this dude, that's how you know they are that far gone, because this dude have admitted it. So I'm not putting words in his mouth. He have admitted it that he's gay. And he didn't even know what a pansexual was. Look at how ridiculous this is, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now, let's continue.
Let me first start by saying I am a homosexual like a motherfucker. I am gay, proud to be gay. I wasn't, I was with women until I was 9. Identified different things that I liked and experiences that led me to identifying as a gay man. Blue, do you want to explain what a pansexual is?
A pansexual person is somebody who loves somebody who's male, female, or trans. So we would be the people who would find it in our hearts to be able to love somebody like your daughter. And also, there was a point that you made.
Ma'am, sir, if you're going to call him my daughter, I'm going to call you a man. If you're going to call him a woman, I'm going to address you as a man for the rest of the show. Okay, well, let's just call him Jay. Let's just say.
Do you see how they sitting up here disrespecting this mother? Do you see how they are blatantly disrespecting this mother? They know that this is a very sensitive situation that she's already dealing with her son being transsexual. And then you have Big Bertha right there sitting up here disrespecting this young lady, Stanton King, by sitting up here calling Stanton King's son she, using that pronoun she. Why can't they just simply respect the mother? Why can't they simply respect the woman who carried that little boy for 9 months? Why they gotta sit up here and be disrespectful like that? Regardless of what Jabian, whatever his name is, identify himself with, you're now talking to the mother, the one who gave him birth. Respect that woman. But Big Bertha, she don't feel no pity. Big Bertha don't feel no pain. Big Bertha will not stop, can't stop until you are dead. That's Big Bertha. Let's continue.
Hey Jay, let's be respectful. Let's be respectful to everybody, because I am his mother and I do deserve respect as his mother, because you wouldn't want me to disrespect your mother.
Can I speak now?
Yes, sir, you can.
So I never, first of all, your daughter asked to be called that. I never asked.
But you're not talking to my daughter right now. You're talking to me. You're talking to me.
Okay,
You're not talking to my daughter.
To you directly.
So my son, my son.
First of all, take the bass out of your voice because I'm
My
trying to have a
son right here. Okay, sir.
Take the bass out your
Okay,
voice.
sir.
Take the bass out your voice.
Go ahead,
I'll be
sir.
whatever you need me to be.
I'm listening, sir. That's what delusion does. Make you believe you can be anything you want to be.
Okay, but hold on.
Yeah, we not gonna have a respectful conversation if you gonna keep addressing my son as a woman. Not when you talking to me, sir.
We will have a respectful conversation, but here's what I ask, right?
That's what
Your daughter, your child, let me say this, your child came on this show and identified as a female, right? And so out of respect for your child, let me say your child.
Look at how silly that is. So that means that, again, a teacher who dresses like she's 13 and identifies herself as 13, you mean to tell me that she can have access to being intimate with a 13-year-old boy? Because she feels, she identifies as a 13-year-old girl. Remember, you guys, these are true stories that I'm telling you. I'm not just using this as an analogy. These are things that actually happen. We gotta be careful because of how we feel. I feel this way. I feel like I'm a woman, so I can just put on a wig and go into the bathroom where your 11 and 12-year-olds is urinating at. I feel that way. We gotta stop it, you guys. We gotta stop it.
I'm going to refer to your child.
Just because a person may feel like he's a woman or she may feel like she's a man, don't push your agenda on us. Don't push your agenda on us. Last I checked, freedom of religion.
With the proper pronouns, and that is she and her, because that's how your child wants to be acknowledged, right? I think what you're doing right now with Blue is you're taking her sexuality and you're weaponizing her with it by calling her.
Let me respond. Let me respond.
Hold on.
I still haven't responded though.
So
let me hand it to Blue first, and then
She ready. She ain't done yet. She ready.
You asked the question about what gives people the right to call your child what we're calling your child, right? And I have an actual answer for you that is scientifically based and not based in emotion. Mm-hmm. You had a male child. Male refers to gender. Mm-hmm. That is something that is biological. Mm-hmm. But being a woman is a personal truth. Mm-hmm. That's actually not gender identity, and gender are different. You can Google it yourself. I didn't make this up. So yes, that birth certificate speaks about your child's genitals. It says nothing about your child's gender identity.
Okay,
so can I very different. I'm not done yet though. Okay. You spoke a lot, so I'm not. Let me finish.
All right.
So what I'm saying is, you keep conflating gender with gender identity. And that is where you lose the audience, because your child can be born a male all day long. Your child's gender identity is female, and we're choosing to respect a legal adult. So legally speaking, I'm actually being very respectful by trusting a legal adult to tell me what to call them.
Where did you get where did you study and where did you get your information from?
So the answer is the Harvard School of Public Health.
What degree do you have when it comes to gender dysphoria or transvestite disorder? Because I have a degree. I have a bachelor's degree. Not only do I have a bachelor's degree, excuse me, it's my turn to talk, ma'am. Not only do I have a bachelor's degree, I have the knowledge and I also have the experience because I have raised this child from birth. My child
allegedly.
is, excuse me.
You allegedly raised that child.
Ma'am, I don't, so where is your proof that I didn't? Where's your proof that I didn't raise? Because right now what you're doing is slander and defamation. Because you're trying to tell a mother she didn't raise her child. Ma'am, I only went to prison for 2 years. He was 3. I got out when he was 5. He's been with me ever since, okay? I raised this child. This is a male child with a feminine personality. Your personality does not determine your sex. You cannot have gender without having sex. It is all tied together. That is the reason why when you have someone that is transgender that chooses to become another sex, it is based off of what? Male or female. You can't have gender without sex. He has a feminine personality, absolutely. Now, let's just get for real for a minute. when we're and I want to be clear, because there are a lot of articles and a lot of media reports out and a lot of people that try to make it seem as if I do not love my son or that I am against the LGBTQ community. I am not against the LGBTQ community. I have plenty of friends. I'm sure you all know Kellen Derrick. Ask Kellen Derrick who helped him start his business in his basement, in his kitchen. That was me. I got plenty of friends in the community. A lot of people try to compare my son to Shauna. When I met Shauna told me her name was Shauna. I ain't never been in Shauna pants. Shauna is my friend. Shauna is not my son. What Shauna does not impact my life. I am a mother. If there is a disorder or if there is whatever it is that my son wants to identify with that leads him to believe that he is a woman, and if that process is going to lead to dismemberment or castration, as a mother, I have a right to protect my lifeline and my bloodline. Now, you can roll your eyes in the back of your head all you want, but I have the right to protect I'm not talking to you two, sir. I'm talking to Miss Blue over here. I have a right to, as a mother, I don't have to agree, but it's not hate. It's not, and you also have to understand,
But this is what your child said about your relationship with the gay community, because they did say exactly what you just said. So I want to make sure to validate what you said. But this is what JB said on the show about your relationship with other gay people.
I saw what JB said, and
hold on, we gotta put.
Actually has.
Now, let's keep it 100, everybody. Let's talk for a minute. Let's get serious for a minute. Let's be real for a minute. Her son do look like a female. He do look like a female. Most people, if they did not know that he was a male, they will be duped into believing they are hollering at a female. But I don't care how much makeup you put on. I don't care how many earrings you put in your ears. I don't care how many weaves and wigs, different hairstyles you use. You are a man. You are a man. And let me go ahead and keep it 100 with you guys. For those who sit up here and say, I was born a female when you got male genitals, or you was born a male and you got female genitals, basically what you are saying is God made a mistake when he made you. You're saying God made a mistake. Last I checked, God don't make mistakes. How much further are we going to get away from the truth? How much further are we going to get away from the morals, from the values, from the things that this country stands on? How far are we going to get away from that? Again, like I said, the Democrats, they're trying to tell you what is wrong is right, and what is right is wrong. And all the while, just like that little boy right there, all the while, masculinity is being destroyed in the Black community. And look what three faces you see up there. Black people pushing this. Who is destroyed the most by this? Black people. Who is in cages for 15 to 20 years the most? Black people. When they come out of those cages, what are they doing? Switching. Who is that hurting? The Black women. You sitting up here thinking you so attracted to this thug, this guy who just served 15, 20 years, and you have no idea what he's been doing in that pen for the last 15 to 20 years. A lot of sisters is more attracted to a man who served 4 years in jail than a man who served 4 years in college.
A lot of gay and trans friends. Believe it or not, Angela has a lot of gay and trans friends. She has a lot of gay and trans friends. She just did an interview the other day with Shauna Brooks. Do you guys know who Shauna is?
Yes, yeah.
Trans girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So trans girl, she respects her pronouns. She respects.
Oh, get out of here. Are you serious?
Yeah. She respects her pronouns. She used to do.
She responds to Shauna as a she.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So my question is, why would you do that with Shauna but not your own child?
I did not give birth to Shauna. I didn't give birth to Shauna. You can't.
Now, I'm going to have to be 100. I'm going to have to be 100 right here. Angela Stanton King lost some points with me on that. Just because that's not the one you gave birth to doesn't mean you should go against your own morals. What is white is white. What is black is black. There's no in between. There's no in between. If your friend is born a man and chooses to live his life as a woman, you still should not prefer to that man as she. But then get offended when people sit up here and prefer to your transsexual son as he. Angela Stanton, you lost some points with me on that, but you're still my beautiful baby, though. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. Let's continue.
Compare Shauna to my son. Shauna didn't come out my body. I didn't raise Shauna. I knew my son had a penis before he did. What you all are asking me to do as a mother, you're asking me to lie to myself about who I know my son is. Now, he's beautiful. He has an awesome personality. He's intelligent. I love him. I just do not agree with the confusion. Again, I'm his mother. Now, you all don't have to agree with me, but that's my child. Did your mother agree with everything y'all did?
No, I know Damage has a question, and I want to be clear, Angela. I don't want to fight with you. I'm not here to force you to understand or believe anything. What I'm trying to do, and so if I can just ask, if we can try to all bring it down a little bit so we can get to a place where we can both talk and hear each other, right? I'm not going to attack you for being a gay man who believes that anybody who identifies however they identify should be respected as such, because that's what I believe. Now, I want to get to the heart of what the reason is why you refuse to accept your child's pronouns. Hold on. And I'm trying to understand, is it because you're a mother who's trying to hold on to the identity they want for their child and not embrace who?
In nature, you don't see a male lion trying to sleep with another male lion. You don't see a grizzly bear, a male grizzly bear, trying to sleep with another male grizzly bear. We're the only species that's going against nature. We're going against nature.
Who they see themselves to be? Is it ignorance? Is it just what? I don't know what it is. That's why we're here to have this conversation.
I'm a mother. I'm a mother that knows exactly what she gave birth to. I gave birth to a man child. If my man child decides, right, and we can talk about science, because I know girlfriend got a hell of a degree over there. We can talk about science and we can talk about what's facts. And what's facts is, even once you go all the way through with the transition, because I do have plenty of friends that are in the movement, you still have that realization that you are not a biological female. So as a parent, what I'm saying is, son, hold on. Just like you said, Jason, you said when you was younger, you had been with women, like you gave yourself time to figure out what it was that you wanted. My son is only 19 years old. If you decide to make this decision, this is not the time. You are too young. I don't think that he has lived long enough to make this type of life-changing decision. And as a mother, I have the right to say, son, I love you, but no, I don't agree with this lifestyle. Son, yes, I accept you, absolutely, Javian, but I don't accept Boom Quisha. Maybe I don't like Boom Quisha. Maybe she got a nasty attitude. Maybe she disrespectful. But what you all don't have a right to do.
My family stayed out of my business during my experience, during my journey. That was the difference. My family didn't interject or disrespect my choices. They supported me. They asked people in the family to stay out of my business. They allowed me to grow into who I am, and still to this day support me. Have never disrespected my
So
choice in
because your
sexuality.
family was like that, is our family supposed to be like that? So because your mother didn't care whether or not you would castrate yourself, does that mean I'm not supposed to care about my son dismembering his body?
My mother wasn't in prison like you. She was on drugs, so she was in prison by drugs. So both.
Yeah, I never smoked crack. Yeah, I got money. Yeah.
My mother smoked crack. My mother smoked crack. My mother did.
Now, look at what's finna happen. Now, before I push play, please push the like, please push the share, please push the sub. Right now we're at 207. I'm trying to get this channel up to at least 210. Please help your boy out. We're only 3 subscribers away. Definitely push that like, definitely push that share, definitely push that sub, definitely push that bell. This is your boy, Byron. There's a new sheriff in town. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, look at what's finna take place in these last 3 minutes. Look at this.
Her when she did all that, but she also birthed me. And
Right.
She birthed me and brought me into a world that allowed me to figure out who I was. And I'm not saying that you're a good mother or a bad mother, because I'm not here to cast judgment on you. I've never cast a judgment on any guest that's been on the show. What I'm trying to understand is your daughter, your child, does not identify as Bonquisha. Your daughter has said, call me JB's. I am she.
And I said, I said, because I gave him his name, right? Me and his father picked his name out, spelled it, filled out the birth certificate. Because we gave him his name, we have the right to call him by that name. Now, are you saying as a mother that I don't have the right to call my son by the name that I gave him at birth? It ain't been no name change and it ain't been no transition. So why are you all asking me to respect something that's not even real? It doesn't exist.
My answer to that is yes. If your daughter, your child wants to be called what she wants to be called, you should honor that.
Well, if your mother want to be called a dumb crackhead hoe, is that what you gonna call her? I'm just asking.
Well, she's dead. Wait.
I'm just asking.
My mother is deceased.
I'm just asking. You brought her up. I don't know. I don't have to call my son what he wants me to call him just because he asked me to.
Your answer, but see the problem.
Look at how he's all offended now.
You want to come into this show the way you do your Instagram. And
no, I don't.
Show house. You're a guest.
No,
and I don't know how.
I don't have to be a guest. I don't have to be a guest. I didn't ask you to come on your show. Okay.
You don't have to be.
Right.
This is not a zoo. This is not a zoo.
Exactly.
This is not a zoo or a
Look at
zoo.
how
okay.
he's offended.
So when you throw shots, be prepared to receive them back.
I'm not. Listen, if I was throwing a shot, although you called my mother a hold on.
I didn't call her. I said if she wanted to be called.
See how he got into his feelings. See, for the last 30 minutes or 25 minutes to 30 minutes, y'all been disrespecting this young lady's son this whole time, calling him she and her, and we're going to call him by what he wants to be called, and that's LaQuisha, or whatever his name is, or whatever name he prefers to go by. And this young lady, Angela Stanton King, sat up here and said, well, if your mom wanted to be called a dumb crackhead hoe and stuff, would you call her that? He couldn't answer that. Now he want to be in his feelings. The table has turned on him and he can't even take it. But y'all been sitting up here disrespecting this mother for the last 25 minutes, and she took it. She took it. But as soon as the tables was turned on him, he wants to get offended. He wants to sit up here and change the narrative. He wants to sit up here and say, you don't be calling my mom a dumb crackhead and all this and that. And she did not call his mom a dumb crackhead. She simply said, if your mom wanted to be preferred to as a dumb crackhead woman, would you call her that? And obviously you can tell by his demeanor and his response to that question is obviously no. He would not call his mom dumb crackhead, even though she tells him, listen, call me that. He still wouldn't. For the last 25 minutes, they have disrespected this woman. Salute to you, Angela Stanton King. You held your own. You destroyed them. You destroyed them. Logic always wins.
Mother was a dirty crackhead, but see, the way your behavior is, even in my mother's darkest days, she didn't act like you.
Well,
You came on this
listen,
show,
I ain't never smoked crack or heroin either, and that's probably why I know my son is a man and not a woman. So fuck you and your show.
Stop acting like you're smoking crack. No, that's okay. And you know what? Fuck.
What can we say? What can we say? I mean, for the last 20, hold on. Obviously, again, as you guys clearly seen, this woman was sitting up here taking so much heat, being so disrespected by not just one, but two people. Shout out to that young man who did not speak. The one guy in the right, he didn't say nothing. He ain't, I guess he just didn't have, it wasn't enough time or something. I don't know, but he ain't say nothing. But he was attacked by the orange man, and she was attacked by Big Bertha. As soon as Angela Stanton King flipped the tables, orange man couldn't take it. And she didn't even disrespect that young man's mother. All Angela simply said was if she preferred to be called crackhead. And he lost it. He was like, oh, my mother's dead, all this. My mother, even though she was on crack, she still was more of a woman than you and all this and all that. He flipped. But yet you expect this woman to not flip or be hurt or feel a certain way when you sitting up here calling her son she and her and she wants to be referred to as Jaquisha and all this and that. No, you're talking to the mother. Respect the mother. If she's simply saying call him him or call my son he, the proper pronoun, then why can't they simply do that? Listen, it's an attack on masculinity. It is what it is. Listen, again, definitely push that like, push that sub, push that bell, push that subscribe button. I'm 3 subscribers away from getting 210. Let's make this happen, you guys. Byron Nation all the way. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you. God bless you. Peace.